You ever have one of those moments where something just doesn't sit right with you, no matter how much you try to shake it off? That's how it was for me, driving that old yellow school bus through Portland, rain or shine, every day for 22 years, but lately, it was a quiet kid named Tyler Johnson who kept me up at night. You know the type never causes trouble, always polite, but lately he climbed the bus steps with so much care, wincing like each move stung, perching on the edge of his seat instead of settling in. "Good morning, Mr. Robert," he'd mumble, voice barely above a whisper. I knew all 53 kids by name, but Tyler had me watching him in the mirror more than a road. Something was off, not the usual stuff, not teenage drama or just a bad day. This was deep. Kids noticed things too. "Did you hurt your back?" one of his classmates asked. Tyler forced a smile, said he was fine, but anyone looking could see otherwise. I started making mental notes. The way he gripped the seat backs, how he'd twist and turn the whole ride, never relaxing. Then one rainy Thursday, Tyler got on the bus, soaked to the bone, no raincoat, just shivering. "Son, you're soaked," I told him, handed him a towel I kept up front. He flinched when he grabbed it, a low sound escaping him, grabbing at his back like he'd been punched. "You hit in, son?" I asked, trying to keep it light. "Just slept funny," he said, but I knew better. That day stuck with me. After dropping the kids at school, I went straight to the counselor, Mrs. Wilson, older lady, sharp as a tack, been at the school longer than most of the teachers. "It's Tyler Johnson," I said. "He's not himself." She agreed to keep an eye out, talk to his teachers. But all afternoon, I watched him in the mirror, trying to figure out what nobody else seemed to see. That evening, I couldn't shake it, so I brought it up with my wife, Margaret. She used to teach before retiring. "He's not sleeping, hunched over, in pain," I said. She told me to keep watching, take notes, so that's what I did. Next morning, I pulled up early at his stop. Tyler walked out slow, carrying his backpack like it weighed 100 pounds, wincing every step. When he climbed aboard, he took the steps one at a time, both hands on the rail. "Good morning, Tyler," I said, watching him closely. At school, I waited till the crowd thinned out and pulled him aside. "Tyler, you sleeping okay at home?" He hesitated, eyes darting away. "Just, my room's not very comfortable lately," he said. Turns out, his stepmom had a baby and needed his room. He'd been sleeping in the garage for about 4 months. "There's a mattress on the floor," he muttered, but I could tell that wasn't the whole truth. My gut twisted. A child shouldn't be sleeping in a garage. I told Mrs. Wilson everything. "We'll call his parents in," she promised, but I worried that would just give them time to cover up. I said I'd try to get more out of Tyler first. Monday, Tyler looked even worse. Big dark circles, moving like every muscle ached. I asked about his weekend. He said he mostly stayed home, slept on the cold garage floor with just a blanket. "No mattress?" I asked, voice catching. "Just the concrete," he whispered. I pushed a little, asking if his dad knew. "He travels a lot," Tyler said. The stepmom told his dad Tyler liked the garage because it was quiet. Yeah, that happened, and he didn't want to cause trouble. After school, I spoke to his English teacher, Mrs. Jennifer. She noticed Tyler falling asleep in class, always tired, complaining of back pain. She even let him stand sometimes because sitting hurt. She thought it was a phase, but when I told her about the garage, she was stunned. "That can't be right," she said. "A child shouldn't sleep on a garage floor." That afternoon, I tried to ask about home life again, about his stepmom. "She's busy with the baby," he said, but admitted things were different before. Now he felt like a burden, and whenever he complained, he was told he was being dramatic. "It's only temporary," his stepmom said, but it had been 4 months. When I asked about his grandmother, Tyler's face softened. "I'd love to see her," he said, "but my stepmom doesn't like her." I asked if he wanted me to reach out. He was scared, but hopeful too. With his grandma's name and neighborhood, I spent the next day after work looking for her. Turns out Mrs. Elizabeth Johnson was well known in Oakwood Heights. Her house was tidy, flowers blooming out front. When I explained who I was, she lit up at the mention of Tyler's name, then grew horrified as I told her everything. "He's sleeping on the garage floor," she gasped. "Has my son lost his mind?" She hadn't seen Tyler since the baby was born. Her visits always turned away by the stepmom. "We need to go to the school," she said. The next morning, Tyler's face changed the second he saw his grandma waiting at the school gate. That hug, I tell you, it broke something open in him. In the counselor's office, Mrs. Johnson was ready to fight for her grandson. Mrs. Wilson asked me to write a report of everything I'd observed and called Tyler's dad home from his trip. Mrs. Johnson called her son and made sure he'd be there the next morning. The meeting with the father, Richard Johnson, was rough. When he heard about Tyler's situation, the man went pale. Sleeping on the garage floor? For months. He turned to Jessica, the stepmom, who'd been summoned to the school too. She tried to play it off as temporary, said Tyler wanted to be there, but Tyler finally spoke up, "No, Dad, I never wanted to. I just wanted my room back." Jessica kept pushing her story, but eventually she admitted she'd turned Tyler's room into an office for her online sales. Mrs. Wilson laid it out: either things changed immediately or she'd have to involve child services. Richard finally stood up for his son. "You're giving him back his room today," he told Jessica. "Find another space for your office. My son comes first." Jessica wasn't happy, but she knew she'd been found out. Tyler was quiet through it all, but when his dad hugged him and promised it'd never happen again, I saw the kid's whole world shift back into place. That night, Richard and Tyler moved all Jessica's office stuff out of the bedroom, dug Tyler's things out of the attic, set up his bed, and for the first time in months, Tyler slept somewhere warm. Next morning, I could tell instantly the boy's face was brighter, his back straighter, even managed a little joke about missing my bumpy bus seats. Over the weeks, he gained weight, laughed more, stopped falling asleep in class. Jessica still wasn't thrilled, made comments about losing her workspace, but Richard always put Tyler first. The tension grew until, finally, Richard filed for divorce, realizing he couldn't raise his son with someone who treated him like an afterthought. Tyler's grandmother became a regular part of their lives again, helping with homework, bringing home-cooked meals. That boy flourished. He never forgot what happened, but he turned that pain into strength, started helping other kids, spoke up about what he'd been through. Even Mrs. Wilson told his story, anonymously, at teacher meetings to help others spot the signs sooner. A couple years later, when Tyler invited me to his graduation, he stood on that stage and thanked me, said, "Sometimes all a kid needs is an adult who's willing to pay attention." I cried that day, not because I was some kind of hero, but because I'd done what I hope any decent person would do. Tyler grew up, went to college, studied child psychology. He told me once, "I want to be the person for someone else, the way you were for me." So, let me ask you, how many kids out there are hurting, hoping someone will notice? Would you step in if you saw the signs? Tell us your thoughts below, and if this story touched you, share it, comment. Let's keep the conversation going about what it really means to look out for each other. That's how we make sure no child ever slips through the cracks again.